the good life, full of fun.
Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Another exciting day in my kitchen. What are we gonna make? I'll give you a hint. There's our showstopper right there. How about some pumpkin soup? Cooking Italian with Joe style. Oh, you know what I'm saying? A little forget about it. So we're gonna make, I'm overexcited for you. Am I a little too excited for you today? So we're gonna make some pumpkin soup. It's coming up in that fall, beautiful time to have something that's just absolutely delicious. So what do you say we get started? I'll go over some ingredients here. So I've got about 8 cups of chopped pumpkin. So I'm gonna make a cream pumpkin soup. So by that what I mean, I'm gonna puree everything. You don't have to, you can leave it chunky, but I myself like to puree. So what I did is I cut up some pumpkin, right? I cleaned it, peeled it, and I've got myself about 8 cups of chopped pumpkin, okay? And I'll show you what we're gonna do there. We're gonna roast it, okay? Then I've got 1 potato that I peeled and chopped. Now why I did that was it'll just complement the pumpkin just a little bit. It just softens the flavor of the pumpkin just a bit, and it's just absolutely delicious. It's a nice complement to the pumpkin. We've got ourselves one, I want to cry, this thing is like killing me right here, but we've got 1 whole golden onion. Golden onion's got a little extra kick to it, okay? So we got 1 whole golden onion, 1 peeled potato, 8 cups of chopped peeled pumpkin. I've got 1 cup of heavy cream. I've got 4 cups of whole milk, okay? If I pronounce that right, I've got 1 cup of mascarpone cheese. There's a little trip to Italy right there, right? That's kind of the Italian version, if you will, of our what we would call a New York style cream cheese, okay? But that is just gonna give you, it's a little bit softer. It's got a little bit more of a cheesy flavor to it. You can't replace it. It's absolutely delicious. So I've got 4 tablespoons of butter when we're gonna get our rockin' and roll with the onion and garlic, okay? And then what I've got here is I've got 2 cloves of garlic, all right? And then peeled, if you will, and then sliced very thinly. I've got 1 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano, you know what I'm saying? Cheese, and I shredded it nice and fine. We're gonna add some and then we're gonna sprinkle the top with it. So I always hold back a little Parmesan, a little bit of mascarpone, and then I got a little arugula and spinach I chopped up here just to finish it, okay? I've got a couple more things here. I've got 2 tablespoons of flour. So we're gonna hit a little bit of a roux. We don't wanna do a thick roux because I don't want the soup too thick, but we're gonna hit a little bit of a roux just to give it a nice little texture, a little creamier, soft texture. We've got a breath, I'd say 1/8 of a teaspoon of nutmeg. I mean, when you deal with cream, cheeses, heavy cream, nothing's better than, you know, bechamel sauce. You want to put a little pinch of nutmeg, but with the pumpkin, it's just the cream and the pumpkin, absolutely delicious. Obviously, I've got my sea salt, my gray French sea salt, which is just fantastic. It's a little brinier, more organic, high mineral content. I've got myself some fresh ground pepper. I know what you're asking. When are you going to put your shameless plug in for your own extra virgin Italian olive oil? Well, I'm going to tell you, you don't have to wait any longer. Here's the shameless plug. I've got some olive oil. Now we sell our own olive oil. We make our own olive oil out of Italy. So this is true, authentic, extra virgin olive oil. It's from Puglia, so East Coast. You can go right on our Facebook, you can go on our webpage, or you can go right on Amazon and just punch in Vito and Joe's extra virgin olive oil. You can grab yourself a liter, small bottle. It's absolutely delicious. It makes such a great gift, certainly, or a great compliment, certainly to your own kitchen. All right, guys, so today what we're doing here is we're not making a jack-o'-lantern, which would be fun, but a pumpkin is just a piece of squash. So you're gonna take that whole pumpkin and then you're gonna cut it. So I just took this pumpkin and I took the knife, just watch your hand, you know, keep your hand away, and I pushed it right through, okay? So there's the half of my pumpkin, okay? So then what I did is then I cut that in half, right? So then I'm gonna cut this in half, okay? So again, watch your hand here. Cutting. Oh, look at, there's one thing I can teach you about cutting a pumpkin. Just kidding. Okay, so then what you're gonna do is then you're gonna take the pumpkin here, right, and just clean it. So I just take the knife, almost like you're doing a cantaloupe, you know what I mean? That way it makes less of a mess, right? Look at that. How we see it's easy. It's easy, right? So clean out any of that if you want, okay? Then, simply put, I'm gonna take my peeler, right? And I'm just gonna peel the pumpkin, okay? And then as soon as you peel it, you're gonna cut it again, and then cut it up. There you go, okay? All right, guys, we've got the pumpkin chopped up, right? And then we want to roast that with the potatoes, all right? Did I tell you the joke about the one thing I wanted to teach you about cutting a pumpkin? Is it not funny? It's probably not funny. Okay, so I'm going to take my pumpkin, and I'm going to take my potato, right? Potato, tomato, potato, okay? So I've got those in there. And then what I want to do is first, I want to cover it with some olive oil. So Vito and Joe's, did I already do my shameless plug? Probably did. So I've got first my olive oil. The reason I want my olive oil is I want to coat everything so that the salt and pepper sticks to it, okay? Then I'm going to take probably about a tablespoon of salt, and this will be all the salt you're going to add to the, essentially to the soup, okay? And then I'm going to take some freshly ground pepper. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I just love the smell of olive oil, you know, and then you smell that salt. So I'm going to get some salt, some pepper, some olive oil. I'm going to stir that. I got my oven going at about 375 to 400 degrees. After I met my mouth is watering, I'm thinking about tasting this thing right now, right? So in that, whoa, look at that stuff so fresh, it's jumping right out of there. All right, so I'm taking, now listen, for some of you guys that the pumpkin is intimidating for, and I showed you how to do it and you still don't do it, just buy some canned pumpkin, you know. The difference here is you're going to roast the pumpkin. You can't get the flavor in this soup that's gonna be like, if you, I don't know what that means, but it means something good, okay? You can't get that flavor unless you roast the pumpkin. If you're not gonna roast pumpkin, you're not gonna get that flavor, so, okay? Which will still be good, but it's not gonna be, you know, okay? Then I'm just gonna take this, and then the key here, all your pieces to be as close to the same size as you can get. I want to cook this, it's going to take a good half hour or so, but I want to cook it so that I start to get golden brown, not black, not burned, but I want some caramelization on the outside of that. That's that flavor that you're going to get that you cannot get by just putting it in a pot with milk, okay? It's going to give you this depth of richness that you'd never get any other way, okay? Potatoes and pumpkin are in the roast, right? They're gonna roast about 30 to 40 minutes tops. Now I wanna start cooking down, it's not really a sofrito, but we're gonna start cooking down our olive oil with our onion first. Onion's always gonna take the longest, so that's the first one we're gonna put in. So what I'm gonna do is take my pot, take some Vito and Joe's olive oil, yes, another plug. Now we're gonna have some butter, but butter doesn't hold up in the heat as much, so I always like to add the butter after the onions are ready. And then I'm gonna take my onions, pop those right in there, and I'm going to give them a stir. I want to get everything coated with the oil, okay? Oh, look at that. Ooh, that's good. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my butter, right, my 4 tablespoons of butter, thereabouts, and I'm going to stir that right in, and I'm going to get that to melt. And then as soon as that melts, then I'm going to add my garlic, okay? And again, I got 2 cloves of garlic. I want to cook that down. Onions will always take longer than the garlic, so it really depends on the recipe. In this case, we really wanted to almost caramelize the onion, and it just gives it, again, that deeper, richer flavor, just like the roast. When you caramelize things, it breaks it down, it brings out that beautiful flavor. It's been about 10 to 12 minutes. My onions are all caramelized. They're looking great. Pumpkin is roasted. I'm going to pull that out right now, show you exactly what that looks like. Is that just fantastic or what? Now essentially we'd want to just put this together. First thing I want to do is make myself a little bit of a roux, alright? So I'm going to take my flour. So see, my onions are nice and caramelized, they're beautiful. I'm going to put my flour in there. Now the flour with the oil, butter and olive oil, is going to be perfect. So I'm just going to let that mix really well. So I'm going to cook the flour down just a little bit. That'll give it a little extra flavor as well. Next we're going to add our pumpkins and our potatoes. So I'm just going to slide that in. You see how it's got that nice caramelized feel. Everything's cooked so perfect. Now just gently and nice and slow, I'm going to add my milk. I'm going to add my cream. So what I want here is I just want the milk and cream to warm. That's all I want. Now as that warms, I'm gonna add my mascarpone cheese, okay? I wanna save a little bit back just for plating. Yeah, then I'm gonna take my nutmeg. And then again, we're gonna add our Parmesan Reggiano, okay? But I wanna hold back a little bit of that too because I wanna plate some of that. All right, so I'm gonna get this nice and warm. Now you don't wanna overheat it because it'll break apart the cream and the cream will start to curdle. And then I'm gonna use a hand blender. You can use, a lot of times people use a food processor. I think it's great, I just think it's a lot more work. Everything's pureed in there, it's absolutely perfect. So it's been about 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and I really pureed this perfect. So I'm gonna plate this puppy, what do you say? So I got myself a nice bowl here. So I wanna show you just a couple tips on plating. I'll meet you guys right over the counter. All right guys, I've ladled it in. It's looking great. I like to do a couple of things. One, I like to put a little bit of a circle of olive oil. Vito and Joe, so did I already plug that? Yeah, I'm licking my fingers. Woo, that's good, okay? And then what I like to do is I like to take a dollop of the mascarpone cheese, okay? Just a little dollop right in the middle, right there. Oh, that's good, that's good. Lick my finger again, okay? And then I'm gonna take just a sprinkle, just over the side and over the top, and then just a couple of flakes of the arugula. Just put another piece. Oh, you literally cannot come up with something better than that. That is just beautiful. Favorite time, man, it's tasting. Cooking times, oh, I'll tell you. So what I like to do is just stir in that little mascarpone cheese in there, a little bit of the top. Oh, my mouth is watering. You got that olive oil. Oh, it's so creamed. What jumps out at you is the cream and the pumpkin right away. A little bit of the flavor of the olive oil. You got the hint of onion, the hint of garlic, the salt, the pepper. And what I love, oh my God, that's so good. What I love is the potato, it softens the pumpkin just a bit. Adds a little cream, a little nice texture to it. Oh my God. Absolutely perfect. I'll tell you, there's nothing better on a fall day than some creamed pumpkin soup. Cooking Italian with Joe Italian style, you know what I'm saying? Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me here in my kitchen. Guys, don't forget to visit us on our webpage, Cooking Italian with Joe, or Facebook, or Amazon. Grab yourself a bottle of Vito and Joe's extra virgin olive oil. It makes a great gift. Don't forget to spend some time with your family in the kitchen, celebrate your heritage, set some new traditions. Guys, until next week, mwah, bon appetito.
It's the good life.